Hello everyone, Professor Money Peak Trading. Today, December 6, 2022, there's a big news coming up and a lot of disappointment for a lot of marijuana advocates is the Safe Banking Act is actually not included into this National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA. However, don't get too disappointed because there's still two alternatives like we mentioned in the last video, which is the Omnibus and Stand-Alone bills. Let's quick overview what happened in the past 2 days this week, which is totally roller coaster, right? So really quick recap, if you're not familiar with the industry, we actually made two longer videos to describe the legalization process and individual stocks like Tilray. So the video link will be on the upper right corner and also be in the video description down below. So feel free to check it out and don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, Money Peak Trading, to learn more about investment news and education. So in case you're not familiar with this sector is very headline driven. This is a daily chart for Tilray for current and back to early this year. And if there's any marijuana legalization happen before the Congress session finish, by January 3rd, 2023, the marijuana stock will go up a lot, right? For example, Tilray has gone up a lot in the past 4 days and pulled back today on a lot of bad news on the legalization. But in the past 4 days, it's actually pushing up really nicely because the market is speculating this marijuana safe banking act is going to get passed. Earlier this year, there was a MORE Act that tried to get voted. Eventually didn't happen, but we did see the nice pop on this Tilray stock as well. So any positive headline just have a tendency to move this sector. So that's why a lot of marijuana investors or stock investors pay attention so much on those headlines. And what happened today is Senator Mitch McConnell actually said he totally disagreed on the Safe Banking Act being included into this NDAA defense bill. He just thinks this NDAA defense bill should be a standalone voting session, shouldn't include anything that's not related to national defense. And there's another senator, Jim, from Republican side. He actually said today, if NDAA contain items that's not related, such as marijuana safe banking act, he's going to vote against his own bill, which is the NDAA here, right? So there's a lot of senator from the Republican side against this marijuana safe banking act to get included into this National Defense Act. So that's why we're seeing such heavy pullback on the marijuana stock today, including Tilray, CGC, MSOS. And tonight, the 4,000 pages of the National Defense Act, Authorization Act, NDAA, finally got released tonight. And there's actually a bunch of things not being included into NDAA, including the Marijuana Safe Banking Act. So Democratic Party definitely yield back quite a bit to let this NDAA act to get passed, including the vaccine mandate, which is a big debate yesterday because in the House committee session, actually Republicans said they're not going to talk about NDAA and because there's some disagreement on the COVID-19 vaccine mandate in the U.S. military. And the Democratic Party actually said, well, you know what? We don't no longer require U.S. military to get COVID-19 vaccine. So it's definitely another thing that the Democratic Party step back and let Republican Party actually win several scores on the NDAA. So in return, potentially the Democratic Party requires other things in exchange, right? Of course, it's speculation, but could very likely be marijuana safe banking act. Maybe Democratic Party plans to make a standalone vote to that this marijuana safe banking act to get passed in exchange to let GOP get a lot of scores in this NDAA. And also, there's a very, very slim chance, okay, the NDAA vote is going to happen tomorrow in the House. This Democratic Party could still file this marijuana-related amendments to NDAA, including, say, Marijuana Safe Banking Act. We wouldn't know until the last vote happened tomorrow at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Even though the chance, again, is very, very slim, and a lot of GOP congressmen and women against adding any unrelated acts to NDAA like we described earlier. So I think the chance is very slim, but there's still a possibility. So wait until 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Anything can change in this Washington, D.C. drama, so you never know. And again, on top of the slim chance that NDAA, have a miraculous amendment. There's still two other ways to pass Marijuana Safe Banking Act by January 3rd, 2023. That's what first is through omnibus, or second is through a standalone bill. So what is omnibus? So basically every year there will be a lot of votes that needs to get acts needs to get voted before the year end. That usually is the recon, the budgeting, etc., etc. So this omnibus means is combining all those acts that needs to be voted at the end of each year to get it passed. So the deadline right now is December 16, 2022, and there's a debt ceiling coming out that if we don't pass it, the U.S. government is going to get shut down again. So this omnibus will include the recon, those budgeting bill, and potentially Safe Marijuana Safe Banking Act will get included as well. However, that's actually the last preferable route, because we have seen a lot of complication this recon negotiation, and often it got a delay all the way down to like December 31st or January 1st. And finally get voted. We have seen them in a situation like this in the past. So if Marijuana Safe Banking Act get included into this kind of endless drama until January 1st, this whole sector of stock price will get so volatile and will drive a lot of people nuts, right? And there's another possibility is to get a standalone voting session for Marijuana Safe Banking Act. But however, the Congress really needs to act fast, because the deadline to do so is before this Congress term finish, which is January 3rd next year, okay? And technically speaking, December 22nd to December 31st, there's no meeting session for Congress. And also there are holidays, right? So it's very unlikely if they don't get a standalone bill or voting session schedule, I would say by the end of this week, the chance of it having a standalone voting session for the Safe Banking Act will get a lot unlikely, right? And also, there's still a little hope, is because we have seen some emergency meeting before voting session between this December 22nd and December 31st. So there's definitely some way that standalone voting can still happen. And from the political editor Natalie today, we actually see an interesting tweet. She actually talked to Senator Rand Paul from GOP side. Rand actually believes there's a bipartisan support for the Marijuana Safe Banking Act, and he believes there are 75 to 80 votes. So that's actually quite interesting, that there's actually enough bipartisan support. And the Senate Democratic leadership, Schumer, is actually very serious about having the Safe Banking Act get voted and passed. He says his priority. That's what he said today. Let's take a look.
Well, look, this is something, again, that's had bipartisan support. We've been working with Republicans. It's a priority for me. I'd like to get it done. We'll try to discuss the best way to get it done.
Yeah, so he said it's very serious. It's a priority, so we just have to see. I mean, there's still two other alternative ways that we just discussed. So don't give up your hope. So lastly, we just want to describe we have a decent Discord community, and we have a really good and transparent trading record. This is our swing trading record. The blue line is the winning rate, which is constantly above 50% most of the months since October 2021. And the orange line is the average return per trade, so it's mostly above 0%. So that means most of the month we're making decent money. So if you're interested in our Discord community, feel free to check out www.moneypeaktrading.com. Also Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook group, or Money Peak Trading. Thank you for watching, and let's hope this Safe Banking Act can finally get passed. Thank you.